When I outline a video by myself, oftentimes it looks like, okay, what's my video idea? What's the information I'm going to share? 5 bullet points. Maybe for 3 of them, I have examples, a call to action, plan a video in 10 minutes. If it's a topic that I really know, sometimes that works. But if I do a better job of planning the video, I'm more likely to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
If I start thinking about the hook, and you might say, well, I already think about the hook. Okay, great. But do you think about 10 hooks? Do you think about 20 hooks? And do you think about picking the best one out of those 20?
Yeah.
Typically, no. Typically, you're going to think of one. You're like, oh yeah, that'll work. This just makes you think so much more deeply about the meaning of the video. Like, okay, how can I add in a little bit of story here? What is the conflict?
It almost feels like you have a world-class storyteller who's sitting down with you and what's your initial idea? Okay, let's dig into that. And what about this? Okay, well, let's refine this. You know what I mean? They're not writing it for you. And we made a YouTube video about Spotter very recently, and somebody commented okay, so we're just going to copy ideas from a
right.
AI. That couldn't be more different than what this is. I'm sure that when I use this tool so far, I think more with my own brain and more originally than I do otherwise. Hello, and welcome back to the Creator Files podcast. We are talking about a new tool today, which we're not usually big on tools, but we really like this one. It's made a big difference for us already, and it isn't even to beta yet. It's in the alpha testing version, and so we've been getting to play around with it. And I think this one could also help a lot of YouTube creators that are in different kinds of niches and doing different angles on their channel.
So this is an AI-based tool. There's a lot of AI going on here. And I think one of the reasons we're not big on tools, maybe just a little bit of background and foundation on that, is just that tools oftentimes replace thinking. And I think when we as creators are working on our video ideas, when we're doing our editing, when we're doing, fill in the blank, whatever task you're doing as a creator, literally in the name creator, it is create, right? It's creative. And it removes all of that. And we end up with very sterile content, or at least content where we are not as much a part of it as we should have been. And it just removes that uniqueness. So I hate tools that make it so creators don't have to think. And the great thing about this tool is that it doesn't give you really finished anything, which I love about it. And I know that sounds really funny because you think, well, why pay for a tool that just gets you half the job done? No, it gets you to exactly where you need to be so that you can, maybe we just need to dive in and talk about it so that we can actually show them or tell them what it is. But that's the reason I love it.
Absolutely. It opens the doors of your mind. It really, it almost feels like a notebook or something that suddenly gives you all these ideas and puts you in the right direction and helps you narrow down those ideas, but you're still doing it. And so you still really do feel like you created. And so I want to go over how we use it and especially the features that we like the best so far, because there's a lot of different features and we're still playing around with them. But like you said, with our tools, especially AI, I hear AI tool and I'm gone.
Yeah.
I don't even
just mentally check out.
Yes. You see new YouTube videos every other day about some AI tool and they're almost all such junk. Mm-hmm. And I get it. AI is new, but it is because I think so many of them, they're trying to do it all for you. And this one just uses AI in a really brilliant way, I think. So, yeah. Nathan, give us some background on Spotter.
Yes. So the tool's name is Spotter. Right now, the current version is called Spotter Labs. This is the alpha version of the tool. So basically, the background here is it's going to basically from wherever you are in your video process, right? I don't have an idea yet. Okay, we can start there. I have an idea, but I'm not sure where it's going to go. I have an idea. I need help with the branding. I have an idea. I want to start the script. I don't have an idea. I need to get an idea so I can start the script. I can start the branding. It works you through the entire process up to the point basically to where you really need to finish up an outline and then start filming. There's sort of 6 pieces to this. And the first one is called the Trend Spotter. And their little description here says it tracks, and you can track and find overperforming videos all across YouTube and use them as inspiration. So it's a pretty simple dashboard, but you can just you can target a specific channel. So if we're in the creator space, if I wanted to go and look at Think Media, for example, I could go see what have they published recently that's performing better than average for them. And so that can give me an idea. Okay, I can go watch those videos. Topically, what are they talking about? How do they present it? Is that a topic that I'm knowledgeable on, that I feel like I have something unique to add? So that's where you can start. Even if you have no ideas for any videos, you can start there and start figuring out, okay, these topics right now on YouTube are doing better than others. And that's really cool. You can also do the same thing with your own channel. You can look at videos that you've put out in the past that have performed better than average for your channel and see if you should revisit some of those topics or expand upon those topics. So it's just really cool. And of course, like they said, you can do that across all of YouTube. They'll show you all of YouTube, what's working. This is a really cool place to start.
Yeah, another thing, this might seem stupid, but being able to see all the videos all across YouTube and analyze the trends from a separate tool, I think a hidden little benefit, huge benefit, is you don't get distracted.
Yeah.
Because you're on YouTube and you have this algorithm that knows your brain better than you do and is trying to show you all these videos you want to watch.
Right.
And I swear, even being very aware of that, it's so hard to do research, especially when I'm not here at work. I'm working on my personal channel. I'm trying to do some research. I get distracted so fast. But here you can really you are in research mode and you can be a lot more intentional about the amount of time you spend on it and just keep making progress instead of getting distracted by videos on YouTube. So we do often suggest, in Project 24, we say, hey, well, we're not supposed to share too much of Project 24. But here we'll give you a little hint. A little sneak peek. In Project 24, we do say you can make a separate account that is specifically for your topic and try to only watch videos relevant to your topic on that YouTube account. So just make another email. This is your avatar account so that you can see other suggestions that are on your topic. That's kind of hard. I mean, I think it's worth doing. Absolutely. We suggest it for a reason. But there's always going to be those times when you don't realize you're still logged into that account and you look up how to change your serpentine belt, right? And then suddenly it's oh, you like car stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, this is completely catered to your topic. So that's, you might see something on the fringes of your niche every once in a while, but it's so much easier to see everything that's really relevant to your topic instead of on YouTube where they're going to be suggesting other topics.
Yeah. And I love the point that you made about it being off YouTube. I never really considered that before. I am the one who gets distracted by videos. I'm oh, I have to watch that right now.
They get you.
Oh man, they get me every single time. I love watching YouTube. I love watching all types of YouTube. And so the research portion of coming up with topics can take a lot longer than it needs to. And so I think you're right. That's maybe an unintended benefit of Spotter, but it is one that's pretty cool. Yeah. So as far as how I've used the Trend Spotter so far, it's been very high level. I definitely think that I could get in and be a little bit more intentional about it. And actually, find a video that has performed better and then really find a way to, sort of make my own version of that or something similar.
Right.
Because I think there's some real value there. And I think we're going to do some more testing with the tool. And so we can probably report back on those sorts of things, those types of tests. But Trend Spotter is really cool.
I honestly haven't even used it that much because it seems like lately we have so many ideas we just always have a backlog of 3 or 4 ideas that we got to get to. And, by the time we film them, we have 3 or 4 more ideas that we're trying to get to. So I think there will be other seasons when we need to use it more. But
yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's talk about the next one.
Okay.
The idea generator. So I think this one's great. Like you said, for us, where we're in a position a lot of times where we have video ideas for the channel, but maybe it's I don't know where to get started. I'm having a little bit of a block just trying to get to the next step. There's the idea generator where basically you put in your video topic and then you can have it look at your overperformers. You can have it look at just a lot of different variables. It'll come up with ideas for you. Just a little bit more than a title idea. So if I put an idea in for, let's say, a channel maker's video, let's talk about why YouTubers lifespan is so short or something like that. I don't know.
Hopefully it knows we're talking about their
the lifespan of their channel. Maybe we should clarify that. Why is the lifespan of YouTube channel
mortality
so short?
rate.
Right.
Okay.
So if you put something like that in, and then you can have it new, look at your overperformers, look at, related channels, their overperformers, and just get an idea of, what is working well. And then you hit generate, and then it starts populating some ideas for you, which is really cool. So it looks like Julia's populating some. Julia, what are some that's just coming up with right off the bat?
So we got channel lifespan crisis, what YouTubers can do, why channels fail fast, shocking truth revealed. Ooh. Is your channel dying? Fix it now. Short lifespan epidemic, save your channel. The secret to surviving YouTube's short lifespan. And it just keeps on going. And then I can hover over any of these that I like. So let's say I like short lifespan epidemic, save your channel. I hover over that and I can go continue to packaging if I like, yep, that's it, right on the nose, or more like this, or this, but that's a really unique feature that I haven't seen on any tools before, where you can say you were close, not just give me more, but it's close, but let's tweak this one little thing that I don't like about it. But I'm going to say more like this for now, if it will load.
Okay, so something else that I like while it's loading. Yeah. So you can either have it come up with title ideas, or you can have it come up with concept ideas. So basically you put in like a 1-sentence concept, your idea, whatever it is you've come up with. And then it can expand on that for you and give you, different, veins that you could go off on and try different things. So I just put in the same thing, and it looks like maybe you did titles and I just did concepts, and it comes up with about a paragraph or so. So here's just the top one that it came up with for why is the lifespan of YouTube channels so short. Channel Makers analyzes the rapid rise and fall of once popular YouTube channels, revealing the lack of niche focus and audience fatigue were primary culprits, and concludes with strategies to maintain relevance through consistent value and audience engagement. So it's like, okay, that's a cool idea. It gave me an idea for sort of a case study where I look at really popular channels from the past that maybe aren't popular anymore. This video may be coming down the pipeline. I'm not sure. This is like a decent idea. And it's not to say that I have to use this idea exactly how it gave it to me. Like you said, I can continue to package if I like that idea, or I can do, more like this. Like, give me some other ideas that are similar but not quite this.
Right.
Or I like this part of it, but change that. I love that you have that flexibility, and it's just built in so nice.
And as you go through the funnel, so as you keep clicking like more like this, and then I like this and this, but this, you do realize that it understands the context of the initial idea it gives you. So you could argue that you could do this with ChatGPT, but ChatGPT will give you maybe 10 video ideas, and it'll have a really catchy, like 5 reasons YouTube channels fail and how to save yours, right? And then you could prompt it for like, okay, give me an outline for that. But it almost feels separate, almost as if you had just came up with that idea on your own and then typed it into ChatGPT, which if you do that on Spotter Labs, I will say it doesn't seem to have the same amount of context because I don't know. I think that's kind of how this works. I don't want to like speculate too much about how the AI works, 'cause I don't know much about AI. When I put this in just now, I selected Spotter Blend. So it is, powered by a curated blend of overperforming videos. So it is actually looking at real videos on YouTube. Some of our overperformers, some of other people's overperformers, and it's getting ideas from there. It knows our topic. It has so much more context than ChatGPT. So as you go down the funnel, you realize, oh, it actually knows what that title was about, whereas ChatGPT can guess, but it's not as good. It just isn't.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the ChatGPT comparison, or just a regular AI to this. Maybe on the next section. But I just took that idea that I read off a little bit earlier. I just took that to the packaging stage, which is just the next stage. And basically what it does, it gives you like a little card. I know some of you can see me holding up my hand, some of you can't. Imagine me holding up like a little, Uno card or a little poker card or whatever. It's about that size. And at the top, it gives you like this little thumbnail image, AI generated thumbnail image that you could potentially use if you liked, but then it gives you some title ideas right underneath that, and then it gives you the little, paragraph idea. So anyway, it just like gives you this really nice little packaged up idea. It's like if you actually do a good job working through the idea and sort of refining it and prompting and doing like, if you do a really good job, you could come out with a much better packaged idea than you would ever come out with on your own. And I think that's why for small creators, this tool could make such a big difference, because in most cases, I think it's a lack of skill or knowledge, not necessarily just laziness. I think most people really want to succeed on YouTube, but it's difficult. It's really competitive. Your thumbnail could literally be shown next to a channel's thumbnail that has 10 million subscribers,
Yeah.
and you have to compete with that. How is that possible? So I think this gives you a really good idea because it's taking popular videos, it's taking popular thumbnail and title concepts or structures, and it's helping you see how that could fit into your channel. So I really like that. So depending on when you listen to this podcast, we're either going to have a list, like a wait list you can get on if you want to try this tool out with your channel. You could potentially get on as a beta tester, again, depending on when you see this video, but either sign up for the wait list or start your free trial. The cool thing is if you sign up with our link, you will get a double free trial period. So for example, if it's a 14-day free trial, you would end up getting 28 days. Or if it's a 30-day free trial, you'd end up getting 60 days. So it's kind of cool because even if you don't end up utilizing this tool long-term, I think it will open your mind to how you should be planning your videos. So even the free trial could literally change the trajectory of your channel.
And you might even get a chance to be a beta tester, which would mean you'd get even more of a free trial. So definitely use our link. Even the alpha version of this, it's good.
It's really good.
It's very helpful. It's not, you helping them out by being a beta tester. Like, it's already good enough to be very helpful. I think for small creators, any size creators, what it does for me, and I think for a lot of people, is it makes me want to put more effort into a video, not less.
Yeah.
And I think that is like a key difference between this and a lot of AI tools, especially the things like ChatGPT, right? Because it gives me ideas, and then suddenly I think, oh yeah, I would love to be able to present data on this, or I'd love to be able to test this theory. Like, it has interesting concepts like that. So then we want to go do the research. It's not just like BS these 5 tips about this trendy title, right? It's like, it is really definitely gets you wanting to like create more. So once you go in, there's a blog. There's like Title Explorer where you can, I think Nathan was talking about this a second ago, you can figure out a million different ways to rehash a title idea. But once you get into there's Thumbnail Explorer. Should we talk about Thumbnail Explorer?
Yeah, I think just really quickly, like we kind of talked about the packaging. So basically, like I mentioned, that little card, right? It gives you a little title idea and a little thumbnail idea. You can basically take those and then just expand upon it. So whatever idea you get in that initial packaging, you can take it to the Title Explorer or to the Thumbnail Explorer, and you can really dive in and sort of work on getting those a little bit more dialed in. So you won't dial it in the initial phase, but you can dial it in here. And so I love that part.
Yeah, and I want to say with the thumbnails, with titles, you might eventually get the exact title you're going to use from Spotter, or you might tweak it. With the thumbnails, you're never, I hope, probably.
You better not.
Going to use the exact thumbnail they give you. It's not intended to be like that. It's inspiration. It's a concept. So you'll, play with it, get some ideas. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not. Adjust it. And based on the inspiration it gives you, you create kind of a version of the concepts it gave you. But you're not just taking the thumbnail that it created and taking the image over to your YouTube channel. I think that's important to mention.
Yeah, definitely.
Still super helpful. Usually, I will say with that one, I think they're still making progress on making it a little better. And there have been times where I didn't get a thumbnail concept I liked and ended up going with my own. But I always use it because I like to try. Okay, now let's talk about the idea workshop. So this just keeps going through. I think the difference between the idea workshop, so the idea generator, the title explorer, even the thumbnail explorer, they're a little bit more one-off. I mean, even the idea generator, it has a whole package of, thumbnail, title, but the idea workshop reminds me more of like an outline. So it's giving you, first it prompts you on what's your video about, and then the video type, and you can select all these different things like adventure, advice and inspiration, behind the scenes, challenge, comedy sketch, there's a million. But then once you get into it, first it prompts you to get really clear on like the goal of the video and the general idea. And that's not even part of the outline per se. That's just getting a little bit more clear on really your purpose for the video, which confused me at first. At first I was like, wait, am I supposed to put this in the script? No. And then after that, it'll prompt you to make a hook. Let's just go in here. What was the last idea we had? Oh, lifespan of a YouTuber. Why so short? And I'm going to say, let's do advice and inspiration just because it's at the top. Get started.
So you get to select your video type. So it has a whole drop down of video types, which is really cool. It's like vlog or review or reaction or prank or list or gaming or adventure. Like it's kind of cool. So it's going to take that, and that's going to help mold some of the feedback you get, and then also some of the story points or
the suggestions
that it gives you later on.
And these are still more like, I would describe them more like subheadings of an essay. You're not getting it to write your script.
Yep.
But see, I'm going to skip right to the story beats, skip past the video concept part. But so we got hook. So something like, ever wonder why so many YouTubers burn out so quickly? Is the lifespan of a YouTuber really as short as they say? Curious about why your favorite YouTubers disappear before you know it? So let's say I picked that one. That one's like a little bit more unique because it seems more centered around why this happens to other people, not so much on your own channel, right? Probably the least likely one we'd use. But the point here is that is very different than number one. But Spotter is pretty good at understanding which one I picked and kind of the nuance of that. And so then when I go to the second step, which would be constraints, it will kind of generate those based off of what I selected for the hook.
Yeah.
Somewhat. And of course, it gives you like 6 options for all of these. So there's some that are a little bit more out left field. And again, you can adjust them and things like that. But yeah, I think you get the gist of it.
It's really cool. I think this may be my favorite part of the tool. I love the packaging. I think that there's a lot for creators to learn just from watching it help you with the packaging. But I think the same goes for this. I know like when I outline a video by myself, oftentimes it looks like, okay, what's my video idea? What's for me on an informational channel? What's the information I'm going to share? Okay, 5 bullet points. Maybe for 3 of them, I have examples, a call to action. Okay, got it planned out. I'm not going to fully script it. I'm just going to do bullet points. I can plan a video in 10 minutes. If it's a topic that I really know, sometimes that works. But if I do a better job of planning the video, I'm more likely to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
If I start thinking about the hook, and you might say, well, I already think about the hook. Okay, great. But do you think about 10 hooks? Do you think about 20 hooks? And do you think about like picking the best one out of those 20?
Yeah.
Typically, no. Typically, you're going to think of one. You're like, oh yeah, that'll work.
And not just the most like, oh, that's really catchy, but
right.
How does each of the hooks you think of actually direct the entire message of the video, where somebody's now staying for a different answer or a different, core belief or motivation than they would have before? Yep.
This just makes you think so much more deeply about the meaning of the video. Like, okay, how can I add in a little bit of story here? What is the conflict? If I'm sharing about YouTubers and they're, dropping off, like, why does that happen? Does it happen prematurely for some YouTubers? Is it something they decide to do? Like, what are the reasons for that? Like, I can actually dig in and start realizing, oh, it'd be really cool if I reached out to a channel and interviewed them and found out about, like, actually had them tell their story. Like, it's just going to prompt me to start thinking way more than I would have ever thought about a video beforehand.
It almost feels like you have like a world-class storyteller who's sitting down with you and like, okay, well, what's your initial idea? Okay, let's dig into that. And what about this? Okay, well, let's refine this. You know what I mean? They're not writing it for you. And we made a YouTube video about Spotter very recently, and somebody commented like, okay, so we're just going to copy ideas from a AI. Like, that couldn't be more different than what this is. I'm sure that when I use this tool so far, I think more with my own brain and more originally than I do otherwise.
Yep.
Do. So
yeah. Anyway, I think this is probably, like, again, I said, my favorite part of the tool because by the time I get all of this, the hook, what are my constraints? What are the conflicts? What's the obstacles? What's the payoff? Though, like, once I get all of those elements, especially for an information video, it's like I haven't planned out any of the information, or maybe I have my 5 bullet points over here, but now I need to think, okay, what does the information look like now? How am I going to present it? Like, I have my idea for a storyline or this or that, but how do I fit in the information? Mm-hmm. Whereas like ChatGPT would just give me 5 bullet points and then say, okay, you're ready to go. You have a YouTube script, This is actually approaching it from a totally different angle. It's not approaching it information first or necessarily even content first. It's approaching it from structure first. And then by having that structure, it makes you, who knows the topic of your video, who knows the information in your video, who knows the concept, then you put in those pieces, and otherwise you just wouldn't have had a very full video. It's just way more full than it would have been.
It really, really is. We got more parts to it than you would have otherwise. Yeah. And we are partnering with Spotter. We don't do that unless we really like a tool.
I don't think we've ever done that.
Like
to
a
this
partnership?
extent. Yeah,
No,
we
no,
haven't.
not to this extent. Absolutely not. And we've had like little affiliate partnerships. And to be
Mhm.
honest, we've let a lot of them dwindle
Yeah.
because we weren't super big on the tools.
Yeah. If we're not using it ourselves, we're not pushing it.
Yeah. And we stop. Even if at first we're like, yeah, I think we'll use this. And then we find it over time. They're like, this actually isn't that useful.
Yep.
We stop recommending it, even if we're making money off of it. So that's our track record. We really do want you to have things you like. And we don't know what the prices of this is going to be. Spotter says it's very premium. It feels very premium. I imagine the pricing is going to be more premium than most. But I think it's still really worth getting on the wait list because I believe that I think of videos differently since using this tool.
100%.
And I hate like free trials when maybe we don't know the pricing yet, but even if you hear about the pricing and they're like, well, I know I'm not going to keep using it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that because I'm like, what? Why am I going to get attached? You're just going to break my heart. But this will, I think, actually have a lasting effect on how you make your video outlines and how you think about your approach to YouTube videos, even if you just use a free trial and you don't actually do the full one. And there's no credit card. You just put in your...
As far as
yeah,
know
that
right
could
now,
change, I suppose.
that is definitely up. We're not running that side of things, so that it could change. But as of now, I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, low commitment up front. Like you're not going to end up paying. I think they're planning on a pretty generous free trial period, and we get double. So whatever that ends up being could just be very valuable. Like it'd be awesome if for a month or two, anyone listening was able to use this for their channel. I totally agree with you. It's changed the way that I think about creating videos.
Yeah. Batch 100 videos for the year.
Yeah.
In 2 months if you have to. Like,
honestly.
Just get started on it because it's a cool tool. And I've been even sending it to my friends who have YouTube channels. Like,
awesome.
Get on this. You should actually get on this. This one's really cool. So
very cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, one more important thing. We are still working very closely with Spotter, and we're trying to like represent especially smaller creators. If you have, whenever you're listening to this, probably in the future once you've played with it a bit, but if you have any feedback or any features you want to see, let us know and we will pass that along because we want to like help customize it to what is going to really benefit small creators. So thank you for watching. Download Spotter and we will talk to you later.
See you guys.